around the age of 18, 19, I just felt like there's something, I would have like episodes where I'm like really like on a high, but then I would have like really low episodes, and I didn't really know. It felt like an invisible enemy that would just come and depress me sometimes, and I felt like I had a mask on. I actually remember like when I was in high school, there was like, we did this thing where like people just ask each other questions like just randomly, and I remember like for me like high school was kind of hell because I had this mask to like look cool and like put together, and like I would like wear I had like a lot of insecurities, and like around my school was very materialistic, so we'd buy there's like a bunch of like everyone was like fairly poor, so we'd buy like expensive clothes to like kind of look like we're not. So I learned if you dress pretty well, you kind of get a little bit of validation, and they won't like bully you or anything like that. So I remember, so like I had like the look, but I felt like at any moment I can get exposed. So I had like a very like almost like a guard to look cool. I didn't really do anything that might be spontaneous because I'm actually like very self-conscious. I don't want people to see me like looking embarrassed. Like anyone who's very like stable in themselves and maybe like an adult can see like I was trying too hard. Like other people probably I kind of played it off. I was doing it for a long time. So like she asked like the question where she said why are you trying so hard? I just felt like a dagger just ripped through my heart. And I was like speechless. I'm like, and then everyone was like, what are you talking about? Like, Mamadu's chilling. And then I remember I went home just like this is the look the entire weekend. I'm just like, I was doing so well. Like, how did she, like, when someone really just sees through you? So that from like then on, maybe like from like 18 to like 20, I'm just grasping like, what is wrong with me? Like, I'm clearly like, I don't know what it is, but like, I always felt like maybe I was the other, and sometimes I kind of used it to think I'm like better than people, but it was really kind of like an inferiority complex. So I started getting into maybe like communication and self-help, and I read How to Win Friends and Influence People. But I think it's actually, that book is very detrimental to someone who has like low self-esteem and self-consciousness, because it's like, instead of like, I think that book is more geared towards someone who already has a good foundation themselves and they want to get to know others. But if you don't know who you are and what you want, it's like just making you more of a people pleaser, more of like, I just care about you, like what I think is not important. It helped me like talk to my sister who I hadn't talked to in like a year or so. But I was still grasping like, what is wrong with me? Like my whole routine was just like, a lot of times after I left like work or school, I would just go back home and just watch like entertainment. And for me, like I'm very religious. I don't smoke, I don't drink, but like for me, like entertainment was my escape. So I would just watch hours on end. Like another one, and like movies, I'm like, that's too short. I need something that can really take me away, like shows that are episodic. And after like I finished the show, it's like, all right, what's the next show? Because I couldn't bear actually sitting with myself. I didn't think of it consciously, but now that I reflect on it, that's what I was doing. I was like compulsively looking for a way to escape my reality because it was so painful. There's this quote that says like, everywhere you go, there you are. Like, so you hear all these things like, traveling opens your mind, but it's like, if you're in a prison of your own mind, wherever you go, it goes with you. You can post pictures. You can like act like you're having fun, but you know how you feel. And you can't escape that. So you can't escape yourself. So that happened. I came back from like all these different trips. Everyone's like, wow, you're doing great. You got a job. And I was like, I'm dying inside. But I was like, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I did travel. Yeah, I opened my eyes. And then like when I started work, the first week is probably one of the worst feelings I've ever had in my life. Just like being in a corporate setting and like all these young, smart people, because I'm very self-conscious. So like just being in that setting, it's like triggered me so much. And then prior to like starting, after like I traveled, I was just back to my old routine of just like, shutting myself in, and I don't talk to anyone. So just I realized like I couldn't really communicate. And every conversation I had with any one of my peers, I'll just replay it. I should have said this, I should have said that. Just like severely in doubt of every conversation. And it was so painful that I got to the point where like I would be in a conversation, and because I couldn't, anytime you ask me a question, I can't really process it because I'm thinking, what should I say? How am I acting the right way? Am I standing right? And it was just like out of control. And I'm like, I can consciously know what I'm doing, but I could not stop it. So sometimes in the middle of the conversation, just because like I don't want it to be awkward, I just walk away. Mid-conversation, like talking, maybe they ask me a question, I'm like, this, that, and I just walk away. Because I'm like, it's coming. I'm about to start, I call it tweaking. I'm like tweaking. So I searched up, it was something along the lines of a shy extrovert, something like that. And then I find this article and it said social anxiety. So I was like, what's that? And then I went on YouTube and I searched up social anxiety, and I wandered upon, like, fortunately, like one of Dr. Aziz's videos, it was like the peace process video. It was like this hour-long video about like it was like the three ways to confidence, and like one of them was he kind of really laid out like what was going on, like because I was so self-hating and I felt like I was in this new environment, and he says, like, you know, you're begging basically for connections. You think you don't have any connections, any love in yourself, so you're just like, can you fill me up? Can you give me the love I want for myself? So like that's what I was doing. I was like going to these people, like, you know, like acting how I think they want me to act, so I can like get the love from them. And like the end of the episode kind of just like really like lets you go back into yourself and like give yourself the love that you're begging desperately from everyone else. And I remember like I cried because I was like, wow, like, I was being so mean and cruel to myself, and I kind of just gave myself that love. And I remember the next day, I like went up feeling like I was Superman. I just walked up to anyone, I said what I wanted. I was just like freer than probably second most free time of my life. I can speak to anyone. I can speak to any woman I want. I can exactly say what I want, even if it's like not what's expected in that environment. But I just felt very free. And this analogy that he uses in his podcast, where he says it's like an overweight person who's like overweight, and then something happens and it goes really south. Then they're really overweight, and they're like, "That's it, I'm fixing this." Then they go and they start working on it. They start changing their diet, everything, and then they get back to the size that was like still overweight, but it's like bearably terrible. And like instead of going the full mile all the way till they feel good, you know, they start kind of tapering off again. So I've been kind of in that cycle where, like, you know, when it gets terrible, I like unplug, and then I like start doing stuff. But then as soon as it starts getting a little bit better or something harsh happens, I kind of like come back home and I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. Being here compels action, and like you're in a group where like everyone's supportive, everyone is here for the same thing. They want to be free, they want to be liberated, and you're in an environment where like, no, you feel they won't judge you. They are like you. They're one of you. So just being here has really kind of solidified, made it more tangible that I'm not alone. And also, there are other people working through this, and I can make it out. Absolutely. Like, and I think there's a lot of different videos you can watch, but if you wanted to go a little bit more in depth, I think just going through like the podcast like list and seeing which titles resonate with you, and just downloading all of those, just like listening to them, I think it's really helped me a lot. But I think once you read like actually listen to them and like read his material and like watch his videos, like it's very magnetic. You'll want more, like to actually break through, because it's one thing to like just get the material and want to change, but like I think for like true change, which it says it's like transformation, if you really want to get out of it, you have to do the work. And sometimes, you know, if you're too scared to do it, or if you're in doubt, show up and then see what happens.